Hello everyone, Valdestot here, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about a topic that hits all drivers, not just gig drivers, but pizza delivery drivers or catering trucks or any person that delivers anything. As an independent contractor, you need this or you're putting yourself at big risk. So the title of this is what all DoorDash, GrubHub, UberEats, or any other gig driver needs to do to protect yourselves. You could be putting yourselves in a world of hurt if you don't do this. The majority of drivers don't do this, and it's called getting the proper insurance. I know this sounds like a boring topic, but I've done a lot of research to help drivers out because that's what I do. It may not be the most glamorous topic, but it's something that you all need to know. So, I got this information from autoinsurance.org and Google, and pretty much I'm not going to be reading all the slides. I'm only going to be going over the important parts here, okay? But this first slide really hits home, and it literally tells you of the risks you are doing because the majority of delivery drivers, gig apps, pizza delivery drivers, whatever, don't have the proper insurance. And this is what I mean. Food delivery auto insurance, rates and requirements. If you're a delivery driver, you'll need food delivery auto insurance because your personal policy does not cover you while you're working. Most employers don't offer food delivery auto insurance either, so you'll be responsible for finding your own delivery coverage. The average rates for food delivery insurance are $304 a month, but our comprehensive guide below will help you find cheap rates for food delivery, pizza delivery, catering, food trucks, and more. So here's the problem. For a lot or the majority of drivers, they can barely afford personal insurance. But to top off the cherry on the cake, right, you have to spend more to protect yourselves because personal insurance typically doesn't cover you in an accident when you're on the job. So $304 extra a month to get specialized insurance may be a lot of money to a lot of drivers, which they typically can't afford. So they risk not getting this insurance in hopes that they don't get in an accident. But when you think like that, you're literally playing with fire. So the problem is that a lot of these platforms, which we'll go over, just do not cover drivers. Uber is one of the few that actually does, but it only happens when you're on an active trip or you're heading to a customer or a rideshare customer, okay? So again, I'm going to leave these slides on for a good 15 to 20 seconds so you can pause it and read it if you like, or you can just have me kind of spoon feed it to you and explain to you the highlights, okay? So in this slide, the first thing you need to know about food delivery auto insurance is that your personal auto insurance policy is not going to cover you while you're on the clock. Delivery drivers should shop around for commercial auto insurance coverage to protect themselves on the road, right? So, do you need special auto insurance as a delivery driver? Depending on how often you drive your car for deliveries, your personal auto insurance probably won't be enough. Personal coverage just covers social use and basic commuting and will not extend coverage for business use, okay? So you can read this on your own. So, what auto insurance do I need for food delivery, okay? So, do not expect to rely on a personal umbrella policy for any claims that arise from the business use of a vehicle. Typically, the personal umbrella excludes all claims occurring in the course of a business endeavor. For example, auto insurance for shift drivers and Postmates would require a business policy rather than a personal one. So, if you use a personal auto insurance policy, it will not cover you for any business use at all. That's DoorDash, GrubHub, UberEats, and any of them. Even Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, it will not cover you. And I'll get to that later. Allstate, Geico, Progressive, and State Farm all make clear statements that their personal auto policies do not, under any condition, cover claims made by employed delivery drivers. If you get in an accident while using your own vehicle covered by personal insurance while working a delivery job, your claim will be denied, and you'd be hard-pressed to find an exception to this statement. So this is the reason I'm making this. So many new drivers are coming into it thinking that their own insurance, whether gig driver or W-2 pizza driver, will cover you in an accident. It won't. Okay? Any claims you make will be denied if you try to use a personal policy for business use. You could also be accused of fraud by your provider and lose your coverage and even your driver's license. Even little white lies in your claim can cost you. Insurers do thorough research before they pay out for any claims. If you are using your vehicle to make deliveries of any kind, your insurer will find out. Okay, so you can read the rest of this, but police will take reports, accident reports, witnesses, etc., etc. So just be aware. If you lie, you could be caught and then face criminal charges. So here is the options. Okay. And literally, these are what you need to do to protect yourself. So the main question is, what's the difference between business and commercial food delivery policies? Okay, so think of business auto insurance as a smaller, more personal type of commercial insurance plan, while commercial coverage is a step up from an individual business plan. Commercial auto coverage is required for certain types of work vehicles, including specialized trade vehicles like cement trucks, dump trucks, large delivery vehicles, tanker trucks, and 18-wheelers. Gig drivers don't need that, and it's also a more expensive policy. You just need business coverage, okay? So now the meat and potatoes. Which companies cover delivery drivers, okay? So I'm going to get to it right now. I took basically clips of the main platforms that drivers care about most, okay? So Amazon Flex, Doordash, GrubHub, Instacart, Postmates, Shipt, UberEats, and Walmart. Those are the ones that I'm using for this example. So for Amazon Flex, food delivery auto insurance coverage offered by company. For Flex, they do cover you. They have a liability coverage of $1 million, uninsured, underinsured $1 million, comprehensive and collision $50,000, but if you have your own comprehensive and collision coverage. So, for instance, you have to have your own full coverage regardless of vehicle, new or used. Okay? And then you have to, on top of that, have your own business insurance before Amazon Flex will cover you with this particular policy to protect you with. Same with DoorDash. They do cover you. It's not very widely known for DoorDash drivers, but DoorDash does cover you up to $1 million liability only. So you have to exhaust your own coverage first. So you have to have your own insurance before they actually cover you. Now here's the thing about liability. Liability protects the person that you hit in an accident. And if it's your fault, they will cover the other driver that you hit. If it's your fault, they will not cover you at all. Amazon Flex and DoorDash. Okay? So what happens to your car and your expenses on getting a replacement car or fixing it? You're SOL. Out of luck. Sorry. That's a liability coverage, which is why you should really get your own comprehensive and collision business policy so that if anything does happen and it's your fault, you will actually get a benefit out of it. You can get car repairs, a replacement car if it's totaled, and on top of that, if the other person is seriously hurt, Flex and Doordash will go at least 1 million, up to 1 million on top of your own business policy. That's how it works. GrubHub, Instacart, Shipt, and Walmart don't give you squat. No coverage at all. Postmates, yes, liability, 1 million, but you have to exhaust your own coverage first. UberEats, they're actually one of the better ones. And for good reason, because they're a rideshare company. So listen to this. UberEats, they cover you. Liability is 1 million. In between trips, however, it's 50,000 per person per accident, 100,000 per accident, 25,000 for property damage. But they still recommend you have your own, business insurance, because you're having your own business insurance protects you fully, and the gig apps can just be on top of that in the event of a serious accident. That could be your fault, and you're liable for more than what your insurance owes. So, do delivery services provide coverage for drivers? Rideshare companies and on-demand food delivery businesses are not responsible for providing insurance to their delivery drivers. Some rideshare companies do choose to provide full or partial coverage to their drivers, but there are a few fine lines in these policies you need to be aware of. For example, UberEats provides supplemental liability to drivers and will provide additional comprehensive and collision coverage if you already have those plans on your personal policy, as I said earlier. Uber Auto insurance coverage is pretty decent, with 1 million liability coverage and up to 100,000 collision coverage per accident. There's one big caveat with Uber. Delivery insurance only applies when drivers are logged in and using the Uber app, if you didn't already know, okay? So this means that you may be responsible for some or all of the costs involved with an accident that happens in between deliveries. Regardless of what they provide, rideshare companies require all of their drivers to have adequate auto insurance in order to work for them. If you're a delivery driver for GrubHub or another rideshare delivery service, it is in your best interest to get your own policy. So you can read the rest. Does GrubHub provide it? Does not provide it to its drivers. Neither does Instacart. And Postmates coverage is limited to liability only. Do you need auto insurance for Doordash? Provides liability that covers damage and bodily injury to third parties hurt in an accident, but you will need additional coverage for your own injuries and the damage caused to your own vehicle, as I said before. If you don't have a personal policy, you will not qualify for a Doordash delivery policy. Do restaurants cover auto accident damages for drivers? No. Most restaurants won't cover damages if you're delivering for them and get in an accident. Case in point, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, the chains, right? Who pays if you're in an accident while delivering food? That isn't an easy question to answer. Technically, it'd be the auto insurance of the driver. However, businesses tend to have more money than their drivers, so the business could expect to be sued as well. Can self-employed delivery drivers purchase their own commercial auto insurance? If you're a self-employed delivery driver, you must definitely obtain a commercial auto policy or business policy at the very minimum, right? Even if you're a one-person outfit, a good insurance company can give you simple, reasonable coverage that satisfies all the legal requirements for delivering food in your own car, all right? You can read the rest. Okay. Which insurance companies offer an add-on for delivery auto insurance? Okay, so here are some of them. Allstate, Crump Property and Casualty, Geico, International Property and Casualty, Progressive, State Farm, and Sunderland Insurance. Many insurance companies offer delivery-only lines of coverage, policies for providing rideshare services, and even packages that cover an all on-demand services like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, GrubHub, and more. All right. So how do you buy food delivery auto insurance? Okay, so pretty much it could be like an a la carte, or it could be comprehensive, but the more that's covered, the more it's going to cost you in a nutshell. All right, you can read this at your leisure. What happens if an accident occurs while you're on the clock? Okay, you can read these different scenarios, but most of them aren't good. Okay, so What coverage do I need for delivering pizza? Well, this is funny. My son used to deliver for Domino's and he got in an accident and Domino's wouldn't pay a dime and he didn't know. Heck, I didn't even know. I thought that Domino's actually back then when he drove covered him. But here's the real truth. Does the restaurant cover you when you're on a delivery? For example, does something like Domino's Pizza delivery driver insurance even exist? Unfortunately, no. When you're about to ink an employment contract with a pizza delivery service, among the first things you'll want to know is whether you will be using a company-owned car or your own personal vehicle. Company-owned car, yeah, right. More than half of pizza delivery restaurants expect their employees to drive their own vehicles and have their own pizza delivery policies. So, pretty much, they don't have your back, okay? There are specific companies that work with restaurants and drivers to fill in the gaps in their coverage. For example, Pizza Assurance, a pizza or a food delivery auto insurer that provides coverage for business owners, is a preferred broker for Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Round Table Pizza, and Domino's. They're called Pizza Assurance. And here's the thing. Cost. How much does pizza delivery auto insurance cost? It's one of the most dangerous commercial endeavors, pizza delivery, right? In fact, you may even find a no pizza delivery clause in the fine print of your current personal policy. That's why pizza delivery drivers need business auto insurance. Business auto insurance rates average about $273 per month, but you may not be able to add car insurance for pizza delivery drivers to your personal plan to save money. Adding a business policy to a personal policy can raise your rates by about $150 per month. So let's talk, okay? The problem is this. For gig drivers first, they keep lowering our pay and we have to cherry pick even harder, and unless customers tip to make up the loss of base pay revenue on any platform. And I know half of you are thinking, well, I make really good money in where I'm at, so I don't really care. But you are blessed to be in a good market that has higher volumes, higher cost of living, therefore higher tips, and higher volume of orders, right? Velocity of orders, just a whole bunch of orders that you can choose from to cherry pick. But there are a lot of other areas that you all don't think about that are smaller markets like mine, that have lower volumes, farther distances, and the tips aren't as high as your areas, the better areas. So we also have a lower cost of living too. So the problem is that with insurance rates, you already have your own personal policy, which is the bare minimum to get on these platforms. So what these platforms don't tell you is that if you get in an accident, you're screwed on your own. So realistically, they are using you while you assume all the risk, but in order to be properly covered, you have more expenses by paying an average of about $270 to $330 extra a month for business insurance coverage. I mean, it sucks. So basically, you got to pay to play. If you want to drive, if you use your personal policy, sure, we'll take you. We'll let you risk, getting into an accident. No skin off our nose. We're not going to protect you except for a few instances like UberEats, Doordash, if you have your own good comprehensive policy first. But if you don't, then you're on your own. So is it really worth taking the risk to even drive for gig companies or pizza chains? Because in order to be properly covered in the event of an accident, you need to spend money to make the money. So you better be making a heck of a lot more money than the cost of added insurance plus your regular insurance plus your mileage, gas, and all that. So the end of the lesson is this. If you like the information that I provided to help protect drivers and to give drivers the knowledge on what gig platforms or chain pizza restaurants actually cover or don't cover you in the event of an accident, hit that like and subscribe button, as I will always try to have your back. unlike some people. Thanks for watching and have a great night.